It's Josh here from iCity Live, and we are with Michele from Blackmagic. It is MediaTech 2026, and he's going to show us just the scope of Blackmagic and how they've moved from their broadcast roots to pretty much the full scope of things.
Yeah.
First of all, audio, tell us what you're doing here.
So, first of all, it's super exciting to be here at MediaTech Africa. This has been a kind of like such a long way for this show, and we really hope it's going to attract so many people here. So Blackmagic has been, as you said, developing a lot of different solutions. This year, particularly at NAB, we announced the few things related to audio, which is super important. For many, many years, the audio inside the ATEM family and the ATEM switcher was kind of like very basic, and people were kind of asking whether there was a chance to expand this possibility within the ATEM family. So we kind of had something already in our pipeline, which was Fairlight. Fairlight has always been the engine behind the audio inside DaVinci Resolve, so people could also tap into it and have all this kind of like those systems inside a software. So then we start thinking about it, like, well, how about we implement that within our ATEM? So giving the ability to any switcher, even the smallest one. In fact, here we got an ATEM Extreme ISO switcher, which is super tiny, but it has obviously at the back end of it a Fairlight engine. So that means that now we expand this small capability of an ATEM into a super large full audio console. Not only that, because we have a software now and we can handle that, pretty easily, so it can be all software based. We actually thought about maybe a panel that can go and attach to it. So next to it now we got a family of different panels. We got a Fairlight panel, this is a 10, then we got a 20 and a 40, so you can see that it spans quite a lot. Obviously, all these ATEM support SDI, audio over SDI, audio over HDMI, MADI inputs, so you can expand that audio capability enormously.
So it's important to know that the panel is not needed. It can completely run in software. The panel is just for the guys who need the manual switches.
Totally. Obviously, there are preferences. Sometimes audio mixer operators, they do really prefer to use a panel, and it's extremely competitive in some of, and also the quality build of these unit is amazing. But yes, as you said, you don't really need it. If you want to get your hands on it, as long as you have the software and you connect it to the ATEM, it's free to download. We've got a beta software at the moment on the website, so you can start playing with it right away.
Yeah. And Blackmagic is really a company that has all scales. Like you say, you have the minis, and then you have something like this, which is just big broadcast. You guys are really catering to all the markets. Is that something Blackmagic is really putting a focus on doing?
Yeah, we always kind of like adopt the same ethos. We always got something that is, good, better, and best. Yeah. So we got these things that, you can have an ATEM Mini, learn how to move into it. We actually got a podcast session here where we use an ATEM Extreme G2. But then obviously all that knowledge that you get kind of like translate automatically into bigger surfaces. Yeah. And that is only a matter of like scaling the input and output. Of course, there are things that are related, and very specific to those switchers. However, the functionality and the experience that you have are exactly the same. So no matter what, you can use an ATEM Mini, you can use a Constellation 1ME, a 2ME, a 4ME, and then obviously, maybe pair it with the panel. Once again, the software is free. You can run the software, directly from your laptop, or you can associate it to a panel. And again, we got small panel, normal like 10 buttons panel, up to the massive surface that you see here, like a 30 buttons panel, which is maybe for bigger operations. But the ethos and the philosophy behind the product line is exactly the same. So at the moment here, we are attached to a Constellation, which is running the whole show here. Everything is connected to it, and everything is distributed from it into everything you see around this area. So we managed to kind of like keep this flow open all the time. Not only that, we're also very strong now in a very specific vertical in live AV, which is coming up, which is the 2110. Right, so 2110 is a new technology that people are adapting more and more, and it's very curious because we got everything you possibly need to kind of like enter into this world very easily, going from SDI baseband into 2110 and vice versa. So we also experiencing here at MediaTek a couple of like conversion that can take those SDI into an IP 2110 and revert it back into SDIs, which is great.
So Blackmagic really covers the whole scale of level of productions, but you guys also cover the whole scale of video and broadcast software. You have Resolve for post-production, you have Fairlight now for audio, you have replay for broadcast, you obviously have switching, and you have the cameras as well. Tell us what we're doing on this side over here.
Yeah, I think, you nailed it. At the end of the day, we got everything from acquisition up until delivery and everything in between. So part of the acquisition, obviously, will be a camera. And when we're talking about camera, we've got different line of cameras. We've got broadcast cameras as well as cine cameras, as well as camera that can do kind of like both. So camera that can do almost like a 3-in-1, like the Ursa Broadcast G2, or a camera like the Ursa Cine 12K, which with the latest update is going to become, yes, a digital cinema camera, as well as a SIMT 2110 camera for broadcasters. But not only that, we do have smaller form factor cameras, smaller and nimble cameras, such as the Pixis family. So the Pixis family, you can see behind you, is the Pixis 6K, as well as the Pixis 12K. And these cameras are phenomenal. They actually bridge that kind of like technology where you embracing a new sensor technology altogether. We're moving away, for example, with the Pixis 12K from the typical CMOS sensor into an RGBW sensor, which is a phenomenal technology to actually, in acquisition, have everything symmetrically captured. So you're not biased by any means when you're capturing your content, which is phenomenal. So all these things are very, very accessible. They're not, in that case, we haven't got like an entry level or a professional level. Again, like the ASIM, once you learn the platform, once you learn the basic of it, you can translate that knowledge across the board. Whether it's a digital cinema camera or a broadcast camera, the system works exactly the same. So the operating system and the engineering, the design of it is super, streamlined and super easy to kind of like get on with.
From my knowledge of Blackmagic design is you guys really innovate on the stuff you've already made. So DaVinci Resolve, you guys started, and that you buy a license, but we're going to make it better. We're going to keep improving it. You made the ATEMs, and then you went, you know what, we're going to do a generation 2. We've learned what we can. We're going to make it. We have the G2 and the cameras. You guys really develop on your own technology, and there's an ethos there of Blackmagic going, we've made something great. Can we make it even better and offer more options to people?
Not only that, we are very good at listening our customers and collecting that feedback and translating it into features. So that makes the unit not only extremely versatile, but again, we don't kind of like leave anybody behind. You can see products that are maybe 5-6 years old and still getting updates. So the lifespan of this product is huge, and we give another lease of life to this product. And customers, they kind of like that. They feel that we kind of like look after them, that we do. So, and obviously it takes some time, because again, go through iteration is never easy. So there are times where it can get frustrating because you would love to see that feature, but give it a bit more time and it will get there. So without actually having to re-upgrade all your kits, you can just move on with what you got, and eventually if you do need to kind of like jump onto a different kind of piece of hardware, you can. And as I said earlier, you do have that kind of like good, better and best. So you can actually graduate within the same brand into anything you want to be. So we kind of like help you kind of like scale up and grow with it.
As someone who's been on the Blackmagic software tab in your website, it's probably one of the most viewed pages on the internet because you guys just keep putting out new stuff. I mean, even someone who's got one of the original ATEMs gone, oh, there's new firmware, we can do new things. It's just really, really cool to see from Blackmagic. Thank you so much for your time, Michele.
Thank you, John.
Enjoy the rest of the show. And, we're really excited to be here at MediaTech2026. It's great that you guys can come out here. And enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you so much.